Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another Walking Dead video. So in this one here, I want to talk about something that was said in episode 23 by Pamela Milton. And I want to, theorize as to what it means and if there is a possible connection here to the Pacific Republic. Because I rewatched the scene a lot of times, and honestly, there's no connection to stuff that happens beforehand and afterwards. It seems like this B-17 thing that she says, whatever that's code for, has yet to be revealed, and I think will likely be revealed in 24. It might not be CRM related. Obviously, it really might not. A lot of us are just sort of waiting for that reveal. Is it going to be coming soon? At this point, to be honest, with what I'm talking about in this video, I feel like this might be the most likely scenario, because it just kind of seems logical that you might want to use Pamela Milton again and at some point in the future, right? So anyways, before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. Also, please be aware that this video will contain spoilers for episode 23, but let's actually get into this here. So the question that I have for you guys is, could Pamela Milton be planning an escape of the Commonwealth? In episode 23, she says this very mysterious code word or whatever, and it's B-17. She says it. There's nothing that happens later on in the episode that is connected to it. There's nothing that happens beforehand that is connected to it. And so what does that mean? Is B-17 an evacuation plan by Pamela Milton because of, maybe she knows that things are about to go very horribly here for her? Because it seems like it. After her meeting with Mercer, she practically seemed very concerned about his allegiance, and right after said that. And so I want to get into that. First of all, I just want to say this one thing about all of this. In terms of theorizing and stuff like that and wondering what's going on in terms of the Pacific Republic and all that, it's okay to be wrong. Man, I've seen some comments like that. Whenever I was wrong about the Pacific Republic maybe appearing in 22 or in 21, people would be like, oh, you're wrong, this and that. And it's isn't that the point of being a fan, is that you're hyped for the episode and you're trying to put the pieces together and wonder what's going to happen? It's good that I'm not easily predicting everything. Imagine if I got every single thing right in every single episode. It would be so boring. So I think that's the point of being a fan, is you're sort of theorizing on what could happen and where this is going to go, this and that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I really don't. So if this ends up being wrong, then it is what it is. But I do want to talk about this idea here, because I think there is a strong possibility of this happening. And I do want to start with, her story right now is very different from the comic. Just in the sense, I guess, that Sebastian is dead and she's essentially lost everyone around her, right? In the comic, after Sebastian kills Rick, she really just spends the rest of her days visiting him in his cell, right? And that's practically the end of her story there. She's taken down from power. Nothing really happens to her. She's allowed to live freely, and she just spends the rest of her days visiting Sebastian. Now, obviously, on the show, it's very, very different. That can't happen. And so I don't think, obviously, they could just kill the character off. That's possible. Or maybe they just put her in a cell as well. That's also possible. Those are two logical explanations for what's going to happen with Pamela Milton. Now, the thing is, when you take into consideration what's actually happening here with the Pacific Republic and all of that, I do wonder if she knows, because again, Lance has mentioned, alliances. There's been a lot of connections to things that have been happening, like Designation 2 and a lot of stuff like that. People are wondering what is going down here with all of this here. And I could actually see it being the case where at the end of episode 24, maybe a Commonwealth helicopter just lands down on the ground, picks up Pamela Milton, and then they just leave, right? I could see that being the case, because she knows that she lost here, basically, but she doesn't want to live wherever she's going to live, and so she's going to go somewhere here. Because Gimple did say that one thing, that there's been no sort of, mention of the Pacific Republic or anything at all, just potential nods to it, right? So far in the series, or in this season so far anyways. And I'm wondering if literally at the very end, it's just going to be a scene of say Pamela Milton loses all the support of everyone around her, because that is likely what's going to happen, right? She's going to lose all the support of everyone around her. And where is she going to go at that point, right? They're going to have to put her in a cell, which I don't know if she's not going to want to go there. Obviously, she's not going to want to go there. I could see this being a logical possibility here. I could see her escaping somehow here. Now, that could be sort of a cliffhanger in some sense, but maybe that's why Maggie and Negan go to New York. Like, I think that could also be a real reason. Like, if they learned that that's where the Civic Republic are, because they are in that area, right? Maybe that's why they go there. So I could see that being the case. I guess the focus on what B-17 is and what actually happened in the episode here to give some more context to a lot of this. Pamela Milton spoke after a meeting with Mercer and some other Commonwealth soldiers, and she actually spoke to someone. Like, she seemed very stressed after dealing with Mercer and all that, and being very suspicious of Mercer, after being sort of stressed out about the whole situation here, you know, Eugene escaping and all of that. She was just like, in secrecy, B-17. And she said it in a way where she didn't want anyone else to know what it meant, right? It was very cryptic, and a lot of us immediately were like, well, what does that mean? And it wasn't just like me. Like, honestly, when I watched it, I thought it was just sort of related to some of the Walker Horde stuff. I was like, well, maybe it's related to the lockdown and all of that. But no, if you actually look at how the episode plays out, it seems to be completely unrelated to that. Because, see, that's the thing. Like, she sort of says B-17 after the Commonwealth are already bringing the walkers to approach the Commonwealth. Like, for some reason, they're doing that, right? Those Commonwealth soldiers are bringing all those walkers to the gates of the Commonwealth. But that's already happening. That was happening in episode 22. And so in this one here, she says B-17. So it's not related to that plan there. And then early on here in 23, she says it, right? But then later on in the episode, and that's the thing. That's why I thought, well, maybe it's related to closing off the estates and sort of protecting the estates and let everyone else suffer with the walkers. When she actually learns that the walkers climb the walls, like, this is after she already said B-17. Later on, she actually learns that they climb the walls, and she's very shocked because like how? That's not possible. Like, they can't climb those walls, right? But that's when she first initiates the plan to sort of, you know, section off, I guess, the estates and have extra guards around there, protect that area, let everyone else suffer. And so this is completely unrelated to B-17. So we don't know what this order is. Like, we don't actually know. This could be something that's just revealed in episode 24, and maybe it's some other action that is about to happen or whatever. But, like, you know, I honestly think there is a possibility that that B-17 could be an evacuation plan for Pamela Milton. Like, if you just take into consideration Scott Gimpl's comments, some of the comments that Lance made, like, I just don't know if the Civic Republic is really going to show up in any big way, right? Do you see the CRM showing up in a big way here? I just don't. I really don't. But I can see if maybe, you know, when they take down Pamela Milton, B-17's already in place. She already said that, so she has a backup plan here. And so she can escape to the CRM. Definitely what this isn't related to. I've seen some people talk about the fact that it says B-17. So, like, you know, they're connecting B to the CRM because obviously with the CRM, you deal with A's and B's. A's are your test subject and B's are, I guess, leaders. Like they represent leaders, very powerful, strong, capable people, basically, that they want in their community. Now, the thing is, a couple of episodes ago, she actually mentions B-14. And thank you to a member of our Discord for actually pointing this out to me. But yeah, like, she actually says B-14, and I believe that was the lockdown. So she initiated the lockdown with those orders. So B-17 isn't that. And as of now, we don't know what it is. And so is this possible? Like, is it actually possible? Like, honestly, I will say, I think this is probably the most possible, like, option. Like, if you were to ask me, you know, before watching the last 8 episodes, how do you think the CRM are going to appear? Do you think our characters are going to find a logo or just, like, see this or that? Or do you think it's going to be something very small at the end where Pamela Milton just escapes in a helicopter or something like that because she loses all her power and she doesn't want to be defeated? That kind of seems like probably the most logical scenario, to be honest. Like, it kind of feels like that's probably what it is. Plus, it would be really cool to have Pamela Milton show up again in the future at some point, right? Like, if she actually plays a role at the Civic Republic and in some way, maybe with the Rick and Michonne TV show, I think it would be so cool for that to happen. But yeah, I don't know. Again, this is just sort of a theory. This is an idea I just wanted to throw out there. I've seen a lot of people talk about, like, what this could be. And so do you think B-17 is an evacuation plan by Pamela Milton? You know, that basically once she says that, you know, everyone sort of puts things in order for her to be picked up, and it's sort of an evacuation plan for her to go to the Civic Republic or CRM. It may seem crazy to some people. I don't really think it's that crazy of an idea. And hey, we got 2 weeks here until The Walking Dead ends, so we might as well put out all our ideas that we have here and just we'll see what actually happens here in the last episode, because we got one more, which is kind of crazy. The Walking Dead is going to be ending officially in 13 days. I really can't believe that. Like, 13 days and the main show is completely over. Really crazy, honestly, really insane. But the spinoffs at this point, I think, are just more exciting, and they've been the most exciting part for a very long time. And it's because of the Grimes family legacy and stuff like that, right? Like, that's kind of the most exciting part about it. And I think that's why episode 23 was so exciting, because it actually celebrated that. And I think that's why people are so hyped right now, because our characters could find out that Rick's alive and there could be a Rick Grimes post-credit scene. So everyone right now, I feel like, is mostly excited for the spinoffs, and I guess also for the ending here, because you do want to see how they end it and transition to that, into like seeing Rick and stuff like that. But yeah, anyways, it's a very exciting time to be a Walking Dead fan, I'll just say that. So yeah, definitely post all your thoughts down below. Hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.